How's it going, everyone? I'm Adam Molina. Just in time for the holiday rush, Jaybird announced the highly anticipated X3s. Now, I don't know how many of you guys were actually waiting for these, but after trying the Jaybird Freedoms and not really liking them, I was really looking forward to them. But was I waiting in vain, or are these actually good enough to succeed the X2s? Let's find out. Opening the box, you'll get the headphones, a handy snapping carrying case with the Jaybird logo on it, a small bag with the wingtips, another small bag with silicone ear tips, and finally one with the memory foam tips. Along with that are small clips to keep the wires under control if you need them, a Jaybird sticker, which I guess you could throw on your laptop or something, and a quick start guide and instruction booklet. Oh yeah, and the charging cradle. The X3s got a brand new makeover and they look great. The cheap plastic of the X2s is replaced with, well, more cheap plastic, but this one looks and feels way nicer, especially in the black and silver option that we got a chance to look at. The earbuds are definitely slimmer this time around, but they're still pretty bulky. And after adding the new wingtips and ear tips, they're still larger than something like the Jaybird Freedoms, but definitely smaller than the X2s. On the bright side, I had no problems keeping these in my ear, whether I was just sitting at my desk or actually going out for a run. A big improvement over the Freedoms, which I just couldn't keep in my ears. The earbuds are also slightly angled now, which combined with the slimmer housing overall helps these shoot audio straight down into your ear. We'll get to the actual sound quality a little later in the review, but as far as fit goes, these are a winner. The cable is more or less the same, but the next big change you'll find is the control module and mic. It's still located about 2 or 3 inches below the earbud, but the module on the X3 is now just a little bit bigger thanks to it also housing the battery. That said, it isn't too bulky or cumbersome. It's easy to use and also looks just a little bit more stylish than the all-black box that was on the X2s. You may be noticing an overarching theme here. The X3s are way more polished than previous Jaybird headphones when it comes to build and design. The one area that I wish they improved on was their sweat proofing, which is still stated as having a hydrophobic nano coating rather than an actual IPX rating. It's worth mentioning that in my testing I had no problems with sweat, and if you do experience issues, Jaybird covers you for a year. The included hardshell carrying case actually got a demotion, but I actually like this new one a little better. It still protects the headphones and it easily goes in my pocket, which makes it automatically better than the one that came with the X2s, which was basically a giant plastic treasure chest that was hard to stow away. The X3s now feature Bluetooth 4.1, which means that you can connect 2 of them to the same source device if you want to. You can also connect to 2 different devices at once, though weird things started to happen when I did. For example, when listening to music on my Android phone while also connected to my iPad, Siri pops up instead of the Google Assistant when I hold down the middle multifunction button. Of course, this probably isn't too common in real-world usage, but it's worth noting if you use both kinds of devices. For those who were wondering, the latency on these is pretty much non-existent. I caught up on all of the Casey Neistat vlogs I've missed, which is a very entertaining way to test products. What is a little more practical is how strong the connection is to my source device, and here I had very few issues. The connection stayed strong for up to around 20 to 25 feet, and there was only mild skipping when exercising. Pairing was simple, and I was able to connect to both Android and iOS devices in about 10 seconds each. That equality also extends to the playback controls. You can raise or lower volume with the top and bottom buttons, but you can also skip between tracks by holding them down for a second or two longer. If you want to access Siri or the Google Assistant, simply hold the middle button down, and you can also pause or play music by tapping it. Then there's the app. In it, you can choose from presets and even customize the sound to your liking if you want to give it a go. Once you make or pick a preset, it will be saved to the X3s, so you'll get that same sound regardless of the source device you're using. On top of that, the app will give you a percentage of exactly how much battery is left, which is always nifty. Jaybird claims a battery life of 8 hours with the X3s, which matches that of the X2s. It would have been nice to see them take a step forward in this department, but I guess battery technology just isn't quite there yet, considering how small it needs to be to fit into here. That said, we got just a hair under 8 hours of playback on average to high volume, which is pretty good. We did all of our testing using the Signature Sound EQ profile, which is the default setting when you take them out the box. The lows were a little too big sounding for my taste during average usage, but it's definitely helpful while running. Sometimes you need that extra push to keep you going, but if you don't agree, you can always change it via the app. Still, for the default sound profile, it wasn't that bad. I felt like the mids lost a bit of their clarity compared to the X2s. Vocals were pulled back just a little bit, and with the kicking bass, it made for a pretty busy mid-range. This is especially noticeable in the song Mr. Rager by Kid Cudi. The snare during the chorus sounds like it digs into the vocals slightly with every hit. Highs are also given a slight push, and it can lean a little towards harshness, though it never quite becomes painful. The intro to Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix does come in a little strong and slightly uncomfortable as he strums the guitar. Like I said, it's not really painful, but it is enough to make your ears perk up, which isn't exactly good either. So one thing I've intentionally left out until this point is the price. When the Jaybird X2s came out, they were about $179, and then when the Freedoms came out earlier this year, they were priced at $199, and I was sure that the X3s would follow suit. But you can actually get the X3s for about $129, which to me is just a no-brainer. It's good to see that Jaybird is pricing their products more competitively now. I'm not going to say these are 100% worth it for everyone, but if you exercise often, they're a great value. I've been using the Bose SoundSport Wireless for running, but for $20 less, I might make the switch to these. We're giving the Jaybird X3s an 8.8 out of 10. And that about does it for our review of the Jaybird X3s. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about these headphones or any of the other products we review, make sure to check out the full written companion articles over at SoundGuys.com. While you're here, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and sign up to our monthly newsletter so you can stay up to date with all the newest reviews and audio news here at SoundGuys. Links to all of that down there in the description. I'm Adam Molina. I'll see you later.